guys, and welcome to Petrol and welcome to Lainston House Hotel, which is just outside of Winchester. I'm here today because I got a very special invite to attend an event that's happening here in just an hour or so's time. I was invited here by Aston Martin Chichester because earlier today something very special arrived in that lorry. Oh yes, it's Aston Martin Vantage time. Let's go. So before we go inside for the big reveal in the event, they just happened to have parked one of the two Aston Martins that were at Le Mans. This isn't the winning car, I think 97 won, this is the 95 car, but it's so cool to get up close and personal with these things. You kind of walk around them and they just have this presence. I mean, the nice thing as well is that they tend not to clean these cars, they kind of keep the battle scars on them, but just look at it. It's a thing of great beauty. I just absolutely love the side exit exhaust there. It's just a very, very cool thing, this. So let's have a quick look around this car and then we will go inside and I'll talk more about the event that's taking place this evening.
Your old friend, Pete.
It's my car! What are you doing with my car? Now this event is actually for very, very lucky people who have already ordered their new Vantage, but this event has been put on for them, one, to get a really nice close-up look at the new car, but also to go through some of the spec options, so choosing things like trim and wheels and interior and so on. And I haven't seen the Vantage in the flesh yet. It's kind of lurking underneath these covers. It's going to be revealed in around about half an hour to 45 minutes time, but it just looks menacing under there. So as soon as the covers are off, we're going to be able to get a good look. The very good thing about this client event is this first reveal, there's very few people here, it's really exclusive, so I can get nice and close to the car for you. So here it is. Now I don't think you will have seen this colour, this is called Hyper Red. Lots of the launch videos that went out a few weeks ago, they're all in that kind of really bright lime green. Absolutely beautiful colour. And the very first thing we're going to do is start the car because everybody just wants to hear what it sounds like. So let's start the car and then we'll talk around some of the features because it's a really, really interesting car, this, from a design point of view. Wow, I had to kind of clean the lens off. Loads of moisture came out of those exhausts. That was pretty loud. So we kind of went through the different Sport Plus options and it finished off in track mode, but just a proper crack and bark to that exhaust tone. Goodness knows what it's like when it's on full chat. So let's have a bit of a chat around some of the features of the car. And I wanted to start off at the back because I actually think, well, it's beautiful from all angles, but the back's really interesting. And the first kind of dominant design feature is this kind of beautiful lights that kind of go across the top of the boot lid. And there's a huge amount of aero in this car. So all over the car and all underneath the car, there's some pretty advanced aerodynamics that have one sole purpose in life, and that is to produce as much downforce as possible. So we've got a lovely kind of double diffuser here, and there are elements here to kind of clean the airflow out of the car as it comes out the back, just to make it as efficient as possible. But it really is quite a kind of step away from the Aston Martin design language you've seen in other cars, but I just think from the back it looks absolutely stunning. Now then, let's take a wander around. We maybe go and have a look inside. I'll jump in before anybody else does. Here we are. Couldn't help myself just to jump in now. This is very nice. I've literally just had the tiny briefing from Aston Martin and I've jumped straight in. The centre console is very different. Let me just kind of move the camera around and show you that while I'm talking through it for you. So there's the kind of traditional swoop down's gone, and we've got this loads of beautiful carbon detailing. You've got the gear selectors here, the start stop right in the middle. All the aircon. You'll probably recognise this control unit from DB11. So that's actually borrowed from Daimler-Benz anyway, but that's really very practical. And all the buttons you need, all the things you need to control this car are within literally just a finger's breadth away, either on the steering wheel or on this centre console. Really driver focused. These seats are very beautiful. Just kind of do that so we can have a look around. And it's really very lovely inside. You've got kind of like a little parcel shelf area there, very lovely seats. So yeah, I'm liking this already. I could get very used to this. I will obviously be having a conversation around when I can get my hands on this car to drive, but I think it's going to be some time away. But yeah, very beautiful. So I think the next place we need to look is maybe take a step back and look at the kind of car from a step back and just start to look at some of the aesthetics on the outside. I think it's a really beautiful car. So we've done the back, now let's have a look at the front. And there's a few very different Aston Martin kind of design cues. I think that the headlamps are very different from anything that's come before. And actually, you know, from comments I've read from people, that's the bit maybe people are getting a little bit of getting used to. I actually quite like them. This front grille though, the splitter at the bottom there, very low. You know, useful bits of information, that is the lowest an Aston Martin badge has ever been to the floor. But all of the aero starts here. It's the first thing to hit the air, and it's very spectacular as it kind of comes through. There's lots of underbody aerodynamics as well. But really beautiful, really menacing front end, I think. It looks really smart. Let's take a wander around the side though, because it starts to get really interesting around here. I've got a very bright light shining on me there, unfortunately, but a little bit like DB11, there's quite a lot of work done to get rid of the high pressure air build-up underneath the front wheel at speed, and you've got these kind of gills, so that's a kind of pressure release, and it channels airflow down the side of the car and kind of prepares the air as it comes under the car. So you kind of follow that down. It's got a lovely straight down the side, and then just stunning haunches. Really beautiful, and you kind of get that little, almost like a little duck-billed spoiler there, you can see. Just really very smart. Okay, so we've popped the bonnet to talk about the power plant in this car, because this is also really interesting. So I'm going to zoom in so we can have a bit of a chat. So first of all, what we have here is a 4-litre V8. Now the actual power plant comes from AMG, but it's basically just the AMG block, and then Aston Martin have added, they've got a different sump, different engine calibration, But the really interesting thing about the engine is it's lighter, it's lower in the engine bay, it's further back, so if you actually come to the side you can pretty much see the front of the engines behind the rear wheels, it's behind the front wheels. So it's almost like a kind of front-engined, mid-engine car. Absolutely stunning. The performance figures that this produces are really quite impressive. 510 PS, 685 Newton meters of torque, which is the really important thing to kind of just deliver you up the road at an absolutely unbelievable rate of knots. 195 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time in the sort of just under 3.5 seconds. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, when you kind of come back and step back, you can really see that engine is just sat behind the front wheels, so you've almost got a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Well, we need to have a look at practicality as well, so let's have a quick lift of the boot and we'll see. And what they've actually set out, which is really nice, is we've got this very beautiful Vantage luggage. But actually, when you look at the size of how big that bag is, that's a lot of space. And then you've got this really nice parcel shelf with a kind of divider here to kind of stop things flying around. And then if you look at the top of you've also got your own Vantage umbrella just in case the weather turns inclement, and a beautiful leather pull just to close. So actually you're looking at not only what I think is going to be an absolutely biblically fast car, but a really practical one as well, because there's quite a lot of boot space in there. So these stations are set up with some sample materials in this box of wonders here. You basically got examples of the leather, the actual exterior colour, really cool. So this one's here is tactical, really beautiful kind of slate grey. Let's have a quick look in here. Now if you had placed a deposit for a Vantage, these are going to get you really excited. And then we've also got some stunning wheel choices here as well. Well guys, I think you will agree that that is a beautiful car. I'm just going to stand here for the rest of the evening and look at it, to be honest, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a set of keys. Well actually, I do have the key here, but sadly I'm not going to be able to drive it away anywhere. But I hope you've enjoyed that. I have to say a huge thank you to James at Aston Martin Chichester and all the guys at the Harwoods Group for inviting me this evening. There's a big party about to happen here later, and I've been really lucky actually that this event is so exclusive. There's hardly anybody around the car, so I've been able to kind of get really nice close-up access. I know the lighting's not been perfect, and I know I've got some background music, but hopefully you've still really enjoyed me bringing you the car. Anyway, I'm going to sign off there and leave you with the brand new Aston Martin Vantage. But I hope you enjoyed the film. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. But I will see you on the next film, guys. Anyway, you take care. Drive safe.